Pre-owned car purchases are on the rise probably because you could get more for your money than you would with a new car. It however has its set of challenges as one has to inspect thoroughly before the purchase to ensure that you know what you're getting and don't end up spending a lot on repairs and fixes. This is a video on properly inspecting a used car before its purchase. I have tried and covered almost all the aspects that are to be inspected, so make sure to watch the video all the way till the end to get a complete picture. Welcome to Shift and Surge, your source for quality automobile content. Once you have zeroed down on a specific choice of a car based on your various needs and sentiments, commence the inspection without getting overly excited about the purchase. This is important because it helps you see the car for what it is and helps you avoid costly mistakes. Start with the inspection of the exteriors. Check thoroughly for any dents and scratches in the car. Look for damages on bumpers and all other spots carefully. Smaller scratches can be discarded, but major ones will cost you quite a bit to set right, as some panels may have to be completely replaced based on the type and severity of the damage present. Also look for broken panels on ORVMs and on other places that might need replacing. Make sure to inspect every portion of the car comprehensively. Once this is done, look closely at the paint and ensure it is the same throughout the car. If the clear coat is missing in a specific body panel, this means that the panel has been worked on. Strong lines of paint on the portion where the door opens are indicators that the car has been painted on. Another important aspect is to check thoroughly the panel gaps and if they are the same at all places. These are steps to ensure that the car has not been in any major accidents. Uneven panel gaps will also indicate the accidental spots on a car. Examine the tires to see if all tires are from the same brand. In some cases, both the rear tires may be of the same brand, whilst the front ones will be of a different brand. This is alright. The tires, however, must not be of 4 different brands each. In such cases, be wary of the purchase as it might have been involved in an accident. Also make sure all 4 wheels are in good condition. If the car has alloys, then ensure that there are no cracks, as these can prove to be dangerous while on the road and is also a costly fix. After all of this has been ensured, check the tire treads to determine their life and if they require replacing. Uneven tire wear can help indicate improper alignment or a bad suspension. Next up, check the windshield thoroughly for chips, as this can turn out to be a costly repair. While you are at it, check all the other glass portions for chips as well. Inspect the headlight, tail light and fog lamps for cracks and damages in case they need to be replaced. Check the roof for any undulation, dents and scratches. Rust can appear with time on certain spots in the car, and this can also be based on where the car was used. For example, a car used in a coastal area is more prone to rusting than one used in a drier area. Excessive rusting can turn out to be a costly fix. These usually appear on the portions that are exposed to water a lot, so make sure to check such places extensively. This can include spot near the tires, below the door and so on. Rusts on the rotors of unused cars are also quite common. Also inspect the underbody thoroughly to check if there is rust on any portion. Slight rusting on the surface is fine as long as it can be removed with a rust removing spray. Deeper rusts are dangerous and fixing them can be quite tedious and can cost time and money, so it's best to stay away. Whilst looking for rusting on the underbody, we can find a few other things out here. Use a flashlight and check for oil or coolant leaks under the engine. There must not be any. Also look at the suspension for leaks and for broken or worn out coils. In such cases, they might need replacing, which can cost quite a bit. Other than this, there must not be welding in the car's chassis, as this indicates that the car has been fixed after an accident. Although this is very rare, it is a major issue, and it's best to stay away from such cases. The next step is to check if everything is alright under the hood. Open the bonnet and whilst at it, check if the mechanism works well. Once here, this is a very good place to check for dents in the chassis, as dents caused by accidents here are very difficult to return to their original state. The chassis must be uniform without any signs of deformation, heavy rusting, uneven welding and damage. Now check the oil level and if the viscosity is alright. You can do this by taking the dipstick outside and cleaning it with a piece of cloth and putting it back in to check the level. The oil level is right if the oil is near the upper mark. It must not be below the lower mark. The engine oil must not be black or dark brown and must be light brown in color. Once this is done, open the oil filler cap and check if it is clean. There must be no sludge formation on the inside. Now check the coolant level to see if it is full. There is an indicator for this on the coolant tank itself. If it is less than the low limit, it could indicate a coolant leak. Also open the coolant reservoir. It must not be dark brown in color, which could indicate rusting or corrosion in the cooling system. In such cases, flushing the coolant is necessary. The coolant must also not be milky and it must not have any sludge formation, which could indicate damage to the head gasket, which involves engine work. Check the brake oil level. The battery can be inspected by looking at the transparent portion. A green indicator indicates that the battery is in a good condition. A white color indicates that charging and maintenance are required, whilst the red color indicates that the battery needs to be replaced. Then check the air filter to see if it is in a good condition. This helps us figure out if the car has been maintained periodically, if it has been claimed to have done so. Also thoroughly check the hoses for any breakages and leaks, as these may have to be replaced in such cases. The timing belt must not have any cracks on it, in which case it has to be replaced. Use a flashlight to check the engine compartment thoroughly for any leaks. Ask a friend to start the car with the engine bay open and check for movement of the engine whilst cranking. Excessive shaking of the engine may indicate that one or more of the engine mounts have gone bad. Excessive vibrations inside that are not characteristic of the car may also indicate the same issue. With the car running, take out the dipstick to check if there is smoke coming out. This indicates that the engine needs to be worked on. Also, check if the radiator fan, which is located at the front of the car, is running properly. The fan starts a while after the car starts running. With the car running, use the flashlight to check for leaks, as it is easier to identify leaks with the car running. Check the exhaust for excessive black, white or colored smoke coming out. Excessive smoke out of the gas is not a good sign and indicates that the car must be worked on. Right before entering the car, check the keys and make sure all the buttons in the key work well. If the car has request switches, ensure they work well as well. Make sure all doors, bonnets and boot open and close well without any issues, and thoroughly look for any deformations and uneven panel gaps in the areas, as they help identify accidental spots. In the boot, check if the spare tire is in a good condition and if the toolkit is available. Also check to see if the shape of the metal portion for storing the stepney is not deformed. This is another step to ensure that the car has not been in an accident. If lights are present on the boot, ensure it works well. Next up is the interior portion of the car. Make sure the seats are in a good condition and that there is not a lot of wear, as they may need replacing. Check the roofline for any tears or sags. Check if all the panels sit nice and tight and don't come out easily. Also check if the seats, reclining, moving and tumbling functions work well without any hitches. Check the armrest portion for any tears on the seat cover to ensure they work well. If possible, check under the mats for rust on the metal portion. Check to see if the power window controls work well on all doors, along with the auto up and down functionality. Check the power window switches and ensure they work as intended. Ensure that all the cabin lights work well, and also check if storage spaces such as the dashboard, sunglass holder, etc. open and close well and are not broken. Another aspect one might overlook are the seat belts, height adjusters and latches, so ensure that they work well. There may also be cracks in the dashboard and in the soft plastic that may need to be treated. Small details also have to be checked, such as the AC vents, which may cost quite a bit to replace based on the design on certain cars. Once this is done, check the infotainment system and ensure all the buttons and speakers are working properly. Whilst here, also check if the rear view camera and sensors function well. Steering wheel controls also have to be checked. When turning on the car, the error indicators such as the ABS indicator light, battery warning light, check engine light, etc. must not stay on. For this, we must first check if all the warning lights work properly. This can be done when all the lights come up whilst turning the key from the lock position before starting the car. Here we must ensure that all lights such as the ABS, battery, check engine light, etc. turn on at this moment. This is done to confirm that all the warning lights are working properly, so we can ensure that they can accurately indicate any issues in the car whilst the car is running. Check the odometer reading to see if it matches what the seller had informed. On ignition, the car must not take too many cranks to start. When the car is running, excessive vibrations on the steering wheel may indicate a steering box that might need replacing. Also, listen intently for sounds other than that of the engine. A knocking sound is something we must absolutely avoid. Check for it by revving the car whilst at a standstill. The car must also have constant idle. Check if the handbrake works properly and if it can hold the car without moving, especially over slopes. Now we can check a few other things as we take the car for a drive. Check if the air conditioner cools properly and then both the cooling and heating functions thoroughly. Leaks under the dashboard indicate a problem with the air conditioning system. There must be no squeaking from the belt while the car is running. There must also not be any unusual rattles inside the car. Make sure to drive the car on both bad and good roads. The suspension can be checked whilst going over bad roads. The suspension must be firm and must not move easily. The car must stay up after going over bumps and must not jump all over the place. There must also not be any rattling and squeaking noises from them. If this is the case, then they might have to be replaced. If the car has a manual transmission, ensure that all gears slot and work well. There must be no slippage. In the case of an automatic transmission, drive in varying styles to ensure that gear shifts are as intended. It's best to try and drive at all gears to ensure that the power delivery is proper in all possible conditions. The power output of the car must match the specs of the car, so try and ensure this aspect. The clutch is another major component that has to be focused on, as it might turn out to be quite a costly replacement. A faulty clutch can be diagnosed in the following ways. Press the clutch pedal. If it feels spongy or mushy, it means that it has to be worked on or replaced. If it is too hard to press, then it means the same as well. Another way to check it is if the biting point is at the upper portion of the clutch pedal. This may also mean that the clutch has to be worked on or replaced. The brake pedal must not be too mushy to use. It must offer a consistent and linear braking performance. There must also not be any squeaking noises when braking. If so, then the brake pads may have to be replaced. A spongy brake pedal indicates air in the system that has to be removed. Ensure to check the car's high-speed stability on a suitable road. While steer, drive the car at a slow speed while on a higher gear, whilst looking for noises from the bearing. Noise from the bearing indicates that it might require a replacement. Next up, in an area that is safe to do so, turn the car completely to the left and drive whilst looking for unusual sounds. Next up, turn the car completely to the right and do the same. There must not be any unusual sounds. Once that is done, ensure that the car does not run too hot and is able to maintain its engine temperature even after driving the car for a while in varying conditions. If it does not, then this is an issue and it might have several causes that can only be diagnosed through a proper inspection. If the car sports cruise control, then take the time to test this as well. Ensure all other electronics such as the wiper, washer, headlamp washers, indicators, headlamps, tail lights, fog lamps, sunroof, the horn, interior lights, vanity mirror lights, and all functions of the instrument cluster of the car works well. Make sure to thoroughly inspect every aspect and function of the vehicle under inspection down to the last screw, leaving no stone unturned. Once that is done, the next step are a few more checks. Get the original RC card and original invoice to check if all the details stated match what is said by the seller. This includes the name of the owner, the number of owners, and the validity of registration among others. Check if the vehicle's number, chassis number, the engine number all match with the car. This is very important. These can be found in the engine bay. Check other details of the car including the fuel type, engine displacement, number of owners, color and model name. Certain changes can be done from the RTO by routing the process through the first owner. The financier's name helps indicate if the car is financed. If this is the case, then a hypothecation letter NOC has to be obtained from the financier. Form 35 comes into play here. Check the car service records from the place of service or from the designated application. This can help find out the actual kilometers run, service done, and how the car has been maintained overall. Further RC details can be confirmed from the Parivahan Seva, which can be very helpful to figure out if the RC is legit. Challans on the car can also be checked using e-challan websites, and any case on the vehicle can also be checked from the internet. I will add a link to these websites in the description below. Also check the insurance and its validity using the policy number. If the no claim bonus has been offered, it means that there have been no claims on the insurance for an accident repair job. If the validity of the insurance expires close to the date of the purchase, then it can be considered a factor for negotiating the vehicle's price. Also ensure the type of insurance, whether third party or comprehensive. Other important documents required for the purchase of a pre-owned car are Form 29 and Form 30 for the transfer of registration. Receipt of sale proceeds, ID, address proof are also equally important. Don't forget to get the spare keys for your car. The last step is to fix up the final price. Pre-owned car prices vary quite a bit based on the region you are in. Make sure to make a fair deal based on the region, model and condition of the car based on the assessments made. Further, you could take a trusted mechanic with you in order to make a more thorough inspection. A few things to keep in mind: always check the car in person and take your time. Stay away from the deal if you are not allowed to check the car in person. If the deal sounds too good to be true, then in most cases it is. Ask the seller as many questions as you can. This can help find out the environment the car was being used and also helps assess how the seller has maintained his or her car. Be respectful towards the seller and inform them as to how you wish to assess the car. Do not be impulsive with the purchase and try to see the car for what it actually is. A promise of a repair or part replacement post your purchase rarely happens, and it is best to get it done before the purchase. Mindset is important. Used cars are not the same as new cars. You may have to spend on repairs, but our goal is to ensure that these repairs fit within our budget. If you are satisfied with all the checkpoints, get all the forms signed and make the payment through an account. You are now good to go. That brings us to the end of this video. Make sure to like the video if you found this useful. If you have further questions, make sure to ask them in the comments. And if you do have some more information to add about this purchase decision, make sure to add them in the comment section as well, as this might prove to be useful to the community. So until I catch you in the next video, this is Rohit here from Shift and Surge signing off. Thank you for watching and wish you all a happy driving.
You